Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another Olexa Top 10 video. Today we do the foil to the top 15 Devil Deal item video, the top 15 Angel Deal item video. Angel deals occur sporadically when you don't take a Devil Deal or get items or effects that increase your Angel Deal chances. In the early versions of Rebirth and Afterbirth, Angel rooms were kind of considered to be not very good, but ever since some quality of life patches in Afterbirth Plus and the addition of some strong items, Angel deals are as viable as Devil deals. In this video, we're going to take a look at my own honest and fairly controversial opinions about what the best Angel deal items are in Afterbirth Plus, based on their strength, their helpfulness on the run, and the overall fun. Clearly this list is going to change again in Repentance, but that's a road that we're going to cross later. Without further ado, let's hop right in. Number 15, Sworn Protector. I'm just going to say it as it is. This list is pretty top heavy. It doesn't mean that there's not good items here at the bottom of the list, but I'm not sure Sworn Protector should be on any top 10 list, but it's still very useful. This is a 7 damage per tick orbital that also has the benefit of giving Eternal Hearts if it blocks 10 enemy shots in a given room. It attracts shots towards it to increase these chances. It's a great min-maxing item if you can control the enemy shots and get the HP. Having the stone shooters that automatically shoot are pretty helpful here. Otherwise, I mean, any orbital is going to be useful, and it's fine at 15 on this list. Number 14, the Halo. A lot of people are going to tell me this is far too low, but it's actually not quite as good as you'd think. Only a +1 damage up and a slight increase in other stats. Early on, it can be an excellent boss item, an early Angel Deal item, but it loses some momentum later. That said, any stat increasing item is beneficial on runs that may not have as many stat increasers, so you should still be happy to see it. Number 13, Holy Light. Holy Light is one of my favorite tier effects in the game. Upon picking it up, Isaac has a chance to fire a blue tier that will shoot beams of light from the sky, dealing 4 times Isaac's damage to enemies. Since it is based on Isaac's damage, this can scale pretty quickly as your run goes on and you're collecting higher damage up items. It is also based on luck and maxes out at a 50% chance to spawn a blue tier at 9 luck. This results in a ludicrous amount of damage and synergizes with many other items in the game. It's a good damage and a fun one to take a look at. Number 12, Eden's Soul. Eden's Soul is a really interesting one to put on this list because it's not necessarily inherently good on its own. For those that don't know, Eden's Soul is an active item with a very long charge that when used, it will spawn 2 items on pedestals in the room. It's a one-time use, but the important part is that it will spawn items of the room that you are in. Thus, popping Eden's Soul in an Angel Room will spawn 2 Angel Room items. This can be incredibly good for grabbing stat items in the boss room, or better Angel or Devil rooms. It's a gamble, but it's a risk reward, and if you have a way to re-roll, it's really strong. I'm good putting it at around 12 on this list. Number 11, CENSER. This is probably my first controversial one on this list because many people rank this much higher than I do. CENSER creates a small follower that runs around surrounding you in an aura that slows down enemies and enemy shots when they come near you. There are many fights where this can be incredibly strong and help you when your DPS isn't quite good enough to handle difficult rooms. My issue with putting it higher on this list is that, at least me personally, I'm so used to defensive schemes in this game that CENSER messing up normal patterns can in fact mess me up at times. But most people like it a lot, and defensively it's still one of the best in the game. Try it out. Number 10, the Relic. Speaking of defensive items, this one's a bit of a juggernaut. Despite many people thinking it gives hearts on a flat rate of 1 every 4 rooms, it's actually giving hearts in a 3, 4, 5, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5 pattern. Hope you jotted that down. This is still a nice item to have because it pads you with soul hearts so you can preserve your devil chances, or simply keep yourself alive. For a strong player, many times the Relic is all you really need to win, as you're going to gain enough HP that you will lose throughout floors to kind of keep you afloat. I place it directly above CENSER because I feel that in the end, it's going to give me a greater chance to save me from death than CENSER does, but I feel like many people will think I'm overrating this item a bit. That's okay, God knows the gameplay in the background makes it seem way worse than it actually is. Number 9, EUCHARIST. Truly some riveting gameplay in the background for this one. It's actually quite strange. I didn't put GODHEAD in the top 15 Devil Deals, and you can definitely argue it being very high in there, just not as vital for a good player as you can somewhat maximize your Devil chances. However, EUCHARIST is cracking my top 10. Why? Well, angel deals are a bit rarer to begin with, and they do give free items. It guarantees an angel deal much earlier than usually able to receive them, and that results in more free items and HP than before, and since the pool is smaller than the devil pool, it can result in you getting some really good additions to your run. Number 8, the WAFER. Staying with the defensive-minded items, the WAFER truly is one of the best defensive items in the game. One of the biggest troubles of a new player is that double damage you get from the womb onwards. By having the WAFER cut that out, the womb becomes a slightly harder depth instead of a massive jump. Inexperienced players will feel more comfortable, and it can fully change the dynamic of the second half of your run. I used to think it was a pretty overrated item, but I now see its usefulness, and there's been many runs where it saved me. Number 7, the Soul. So many defensive items, but this one is one of the best. The Soul grants you 2 Spirit Hearts upon pickup, but will gravitate enemy shots away from you for the rest of the run. This makes enemies like Hush much easier, as dodging becomes just much simpler. It's one of those items that it doesn't really feel like it's affecting anything, it just makes you feel like you're Neo in the Matrix. Dodging shots equals less damage taken, and less damage taken equals a 1 run. It's kinda simple as that. Number 6, Trinity Shield. This is one of my favorite items in the game and is an instantaneous take when I see it. Trinity Shield provides you the ultimate rush your enemies familiar. The shield will block any non-beam based shot that comes at you. Every single enemy shot. Forever. It's so strong and even better than the Soul that still has a chance to have shots hit you. If it's you versus an enemy and you're both head on, there's a 0% chance it kills you. It's such a strong item and hard counters so many bosses that it's hard for me to not put it this high. Number 5, Crown of Light. Finally, damage, not a defensive item. Crown of Light is a passive item that gives you 2 soul hearts on pickup, but more importantly, double damage when Isaac has no empty red heart containers. The effect goes away once you get hit, so just don't get hit. Jokes aside, it's a very strong item that synergizes well with not having red hearts and simply buffs you enough with the double damage and other stat upgrades to merit it being this high. There's not a ton of high damage items in this pool, so it's always a blessing to get this. Number 4, the Mind. No, we're not opening our third eye or turning Jarvis into a human. The Mind is one of the Holy Trinity items in the game that grants Isaac the ability to see full mapping of the floor. That's it, really, but boy, it's such a good it. You can calculate the quickest path with some Dijkstra's algorithm, know exactly where the shop and item room are, avoid mini-bosses or fight the mini-bosses, you do you, and most importantly, know exactly where secret rooms are. Mapping is such an important part of Isaac since you can maximize your gameplay, which in turn maximizes HP and helps you win. I rate this item probably higher than most, but I still think it deserves number 4. It's definitely number 1 for speedrunners. Number 3, Holy Mantle. The best defensive item in the game. Any item that can turn the loss from impossible to arguably one of my favorite characters is gonna be pretty good. Holy Mantle allows for you to take an extra hit in every single room without actually losing health. This makes for so much benefit, such as free curse rooms and, not taking damage. Let's be honest, taking damage is a bit of a problem for winning. It's basically an instant win item for good players, and it's deserving of being this high. Number 2, Godhead. Cue the 12-year-olds with their pitchforks on fire as they smack that dislike button. It's not the best angel deal item. That said, it is arguably the second best item in the entire game. Godhead alone is only a 0.5 damage up, 1.5 range up, and a plus 0.8 tier height, while also reducing tiers and shot speed, but where Godhead succeeds is in the damage aura around each tier. This aura is filthy, and it will do a ton of damage when it hits enemies. That said, the aura is also why Godhead isn't number 1 on this list. If you can't make the aura work on your run, which sometimes is the case, it simply isn't a better item than something that always synergizes well and can utilize Godhead. There's many good synergies such as Death's Touch that you can see here that do in fact make Godhead the better choice over our number 1 option, but I've always said that the better synergizer will prevail on these lists, and there's simply some runs that will not get much better with Godhead than with our number 1 choice. Many people will disagree and yell and complain, but this is an Isaac hill that I've been willing to die on. Thus, that brings us to number 1, Sacred Heart. I do wholeheartedly believe that not only is Sacred Heart the best Angel deal item, but it's actually just the best item in the game. Giving a flat +1 damage up followed by a 2.3 times damage multiplier, the most of any item in the entire game, plus a range up, tier height up, homing tiers, a heart container, and a full replenish of red hearts in return for just a small shot speed and tiers downgrade is too strong to pass up. The 2.3 times damage multiplier makes your run explode at even simple damage upgrades such as Jesus Juice. It synergizes with basically every run as it doesn't rely on Godhead's aura to give its damage rate, so no synergies can really negatively affect you. It becomes a monster with items that benefit from low shot speed such as Tech X, as homing low shot speed runs have so much power. I understand people disagree and think Godhead should be number 1, but hopefully this is a compelling enough case as to why you should be more excited about Sacred Heart than Godhead depending on the run. Like I said, Godhead can be better depending on the run, but overall, in a top 10 or top 15 list, Sacred Heart remains at my top. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it and comment with your top 10 list so I know you had some fun. Angel deals used to be so bad in Isaac, but now they've come around to be as beneficial, if not more beneficial than Devil deals. They might not be as flashy as many of the items are defensive focused, but that doesn't stop them from being vitally important to winning your run. Next time we'll hop back into some synergy related top 10, so let me know what you want to see next. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.